This is the project we're going to do today, which is pipe cleaner figures, which are really, really fun. You can see you can pose them any way you want, and we're going to make a little base for them so they stand up. So this little guy, he's running, or maybe he's dancing. He moves around kind of like a bobblehead or something. There he is doing his thing. Two little figures here. They could be playing ball or running. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to show you how to make these little figures. They're super fun to make, super easy. So what you will need for today are 2 pipe cleaners, small piece of paper. You can use the paper out of your bag. You can use the construction paper or the white paper that was in your bag. 2 popsicle sticks. This is for 1 figure. And your scissors. Okay, so to start, we are going to take a single popsicle stick, curve it pretty much in half, and then loop it over itself like that. Okay, and it wants to jump out of that shape. We'll kind of hold it, and we want these 2 lengths to be kind of equal, and you can test it by bringing forward together like that. Yeah, they're pretty equal. Okay, so I'm happy with that. I'm going to take my second pipe cleaner and I'm going to bend it all the way in half like that. I'm going to make a little crimp right there and take my first pipe cleaner. Got my little loop there. I'm going to come around with the second pipe cleaner and put it right over that loop. So that's what that should look like. You can see that. It's my second pipe cleaner. And then once I've got that in place, like so, I'm going to twist the second pipe cleaner around. Make sure I get everything positioned. Okay, that looks good. And now I'm just going to keep twisting. It doesn't matter which direction you twist. Whichever works for you. It's fine. And keep coming down. Let's see, maybe about 1.5 inches. Alright, you can see our little figure emerging here. And then I'm going to hold the pipe cleaners right there with my hand, and then I'm going to twist the top pipe cleaner about 3 or 4 times, and that makes a little neck for our head. Start shaping that head a little bit. Should be kind of an oval shape. Right, and these are our arms coming out. This is the torso and our legs. And so I want to give this little figure feet. So I'm going to bring those together. And I'm just going to crimp 90-degree angle there. So now we have feet. And I'm going to do the same thing with the arms. Bring them together and just crimp them a little bit. Now you can see that one was a little off. That's okay. It's not perfect. I'm just going to fold it back over so it looks a little more even. Now, you get to decide how you want to pose this figure. It can be any way you want. Okay, so I want you to be thinking about what you want to do with your little figure. Is he walking the dog? Is he running? Is he dancing? Is he playing baseball? Think of all the ways that you could pose your figure. And maybe it involves something that you love. Like if I were doing this figure, maybe I'd have my figure painting. But I'm going to show you how to make that little base. So you need your 2 popsicle sticks, and we're going to overlap them in a X marks the spot kind of way. And I'm going to get another little pipe cleaner. So I have a pipe cleaner here. I'm just going to cut off about 1/3 of it for my base. I'm going to cut it right about there. My scissors. I'm going to pick up my popsicle sticks, and I'm going to wrap them once this way, and I'm going to twist it, and then come around the other way. And that's our little base. That should stand our figure up pretty nicely. Okay, so now I have my base. I'm going to take my figure and I'm going to choose which leg I want to attach to the base. So So I'm going to use this leg, and I'm just going to wrap that blue base pipe cleaner around the leg of my little standing guy. And now he's ready to stand up and pose. And there's certainly ways to add to this. If you had pom-poms or something else at home that you wanted to use to stand this figure up and make him more interesting, or maybe you want to make two figures and they're doing something together. Maybe they're playing a game or something. I'm going to bend his leg and the other leg. I think this guy's doing a little dance here. He kind of wobbles around. He's fun. Now you might have to work on his balance a little bit. He might tend to want to tip over backwards or something. So you just work on the balance of the way he stands. Pose his arms. Maybe you want to tilt his head to, or her head to one side. Now you can also add pipe cleaners to this to give it more character, to make it more interesting. Think about how I could add, maybe I could add a jump rope. Maybe I will add a jump rope. I think I'm going to attach those ends together. And the way I do that is, remember how I crimped this hand? I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to crimp it so there's a little V shape. I'm going to put them together. And then I'm just going to continue folding them in the direction we did before. So this just crimps over one another. And now we have someone jump roping. And think about what you could do with it. It's kind of a crazy looking jump rope, right? Probably should have the foot back, about to jump. There we go. Bending over backwards a little bit. But there's our little figure jump roping. And I'm going to show you how to do another figure, but this time I'm not going to use a base. I'm just going to use the pipe cleaners themselves to make a little figure. This one is lying down, and I'm going to have a little piece of paper in there, so it makes it look like my figure is reading a book, lying down and reading a book. So let me show you how to do that one. It's the same technique as before with the pipe cleaners. You have two pipe cleaners. You take the first pipe cleaner and fold it in half gently. We don't want a sharp crease in there, but about halfway, and then we're going to make a little loop. There's our loop. And with the second pipe cleaner, we're going to bend it completely in half and crimp it right there. That's the beginning of our legs, and we're going to take our first pipe cleaner and holding that loop, we're going to bring the second one through like that. And when we got it positioned the way we want it to be with the top loop, make sure the arms are about the same length, we're going to start twisting that second pipe cleaner to hold everything in place. If you think that looks about right, you can check the length of your arms. It looks good to me. Check the length of the legs, pretty good. Alright, so I'm going to start twisting the torso about as far as I think it should go. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. It's about maybe an inch, inch and a half. And then I'm going to come back up to the top loop, and I'm going to twist that a few times to give our figure a neck. And there's our little figure here. Now I'm going to pose this one so that they're lying down. I'm going to give this one little shoulders. So I'm going to crimp it, come out maybe a half inch from the side and crimp it, and pull those arms forward. And I'm going to want the head up and back a little bit. And then I'm going to, from the shoulder, I'm going to come down, find where I think the elbow should be and bend the elbow. And then I'm going to bend the hand. Come over here, do the same on the other side. I'm bending the elbow. And bending the hand. Now I'm going to position it, flatten it out a little bit here, and I'm going to bend the feet. The feet will be facing down because this person's lying on their tummy. And maybe kick the feet back up Sort of a fun little pose, lying on the grass maybe, reading a book. And then I'm going to take a piece of paper from the paper you got out of your art bag, and I'm just going to trim a little rectangle, and this is going to be my book. I'm just going to cut a little square, I'm sorry, rectangle, out of this paper. And I did the same thing with some white paper, and I'm going to fold it in half. Bend it in half like that, so it makes pages of a book. And the cover, I'm going to bend that in half, crease it. And now I've got a whole little book here. I wonder what this figure is reading. What's your favorite book that you've read this summer? Reading anything? I know I love to read in the summer. So that's our little figure reading the book. Now you could get really fancy with this little book, and you could go in and staple it. One staple right there in the middle would hold it perfectly. And then you could do a cover and open it up. You could have a whole little story that you could illustrate in there. I think that would be a super fun thing to do. And then whoever saw this statue, they could also look at the book that the person is reading. So now we've got two people reading, and we've got our jump roper. What else could we make? I want you guys to really use your imaginations and think of all the ways that you could create figures. Maybe they're two figures that somehow work together. That might be a really fun idea. Okay, let's make one more figure together. I've got my two pipe cleaners picked out. I'm going to make my loop. Bend up the arms. Make sure they're the same length approximately. I think that looks good. I've got my second pipe cleaner bent in half. I'm going to put it through that loop. Come down. Crimp it right there over my loop, and then start twisting. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe about 9 twists is about right. Okay, and then I'm going to bend my feet, just crimp those over about the same spot so the legs are the same length. And maybe put the bend in the knee right over my finger like that. And maybe this person is playing an instrument. I'm going to crimp those little hands over. Makes it a little bit stronger on either end too if it's going to hold something like a guitar. And I'm going to give this person a little bit of a neck. Shape their head a bit. Alright, there. Now I think we're ready to make the second part, which is going to be our guitar, or perhaps it's a ukulele. I'm going to bend it in half. I'm not going to do a hard crimp. I'm going to get my scissors, and I'm just going to put them in the top of that little crimp, flatten it, and then bend my pipe cleaner around that. And that gives me a nice square crimp at the top where the head of the ukulele would be. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to twist, just about like that. Maybe twice. And then I come down. How long do I think the neck of the ukulele would be? Maybe about there. And then I'm going to start coming out and shaping the body of the ukulele. Bending it around. I'm going to crimp it right there. Same on the other side. Coming in, I'm going to shape it around my thumb so I get that nice curve as the ukulele comes in. Come back out. Now you don't have to do a ukulele or a guitar. You could do the instrument that you play, or maybe an instrument that you want to play. And then I think I'm just going to roll those two end pieces around back on themselves, and attach it. So there's my little guitar, or ukulele, whatever you want to call it. Let's see how it fits with my little person. I think it fits pretty well. It probably looks more like a guitar. It's fairly big. All right, so now I'm going to take that little hand and crimp it around. Well, it should be further down, right? Because now he's got his hand on the head of the guitar when we really want it on the neck of the guitar. Okay, and then I'm just going to crimp the wire, roll it right around the neck of the guitar so it looks like he's playing a chord. And get that guitar on his lap, her lap. And then I'm going to bend it so it looks like it has a little shoulder. And the arm's going to come around to where they would be strumming. All right, now I think we really need a base for our little guitar player. So I'm going to grab 2 popsicle sticks. I already cut a little piece of pipe cleaner. It's maybe half the pipe cleaner, maybe not quite that much, but any length would do. Even if you don't want to cut it and you want to use the whole pipe cleaner, that would work as well. So I'm going to wrap it behind the X that I've made with these popsicle sticks, and then I'm just going to twist them together. I'm going to make sure they don't, I'm going to keep that X. I don't want them to come together because that's what's making our figure steady, is having that X. Okay, that's fairly steady, but I think I'm going to go around again, and that'll make it really steady. And then I've got my little base here. I'm going to attach it by wrapping it around the guitar player's leg. So I'm just going to keep twisting it around, till I get it to the end. And there, we have our guitar player. Ooh, I wonder what he's playing. See, I like how these guys, they rock a little bit. You move them around, they rock. Oh, he's rocking out. Woohoo! All right, guys.
Hey, everybody. I hope you really enjoyed that pipe cleaner sculpture project. I had a lot of fun doing it. I just wanted to remind you about a couple things. One, don't forget about the art contest. They're great prizes. There are 3 different age groups. And I want to see what you guys can make. Something really creative. Something about summer that you really love. Okay, so that's a reminder about that. I also reminded you that I still have the letterbox up. If you haven't had a chance to do that, definitely try it. It's fun. One thing to remember is that there's only one letterbox at the very end. So it's like a treasure hunt in that you're not finding a different letterbox at the end of each little segment of the poem, but only right at the end. So just one letterbox. And also, if you'd like to chat, get in touch with me about idea you have or something you're struggling with in the art classes, you can email me at piper@rivertreearts.org. And I'd love to hear from you or see your artwork. Either one would be fantastic. I'll see you next week. Bye-bye.